Happy Thursday. I saw this post in a video asking whether spaces are safe or brave, and it got me thinking about what those terms actually mean in real life, especially when it comes to vulnerability. In the conversation, it wouldn't let me go. I had thoughts. Yes, I took notes. This isn't a response to that poster video. Much respect to the creator of it. These are just Wiley's thoughts. And Thursday morning, coffee and conversation from the Wiley Collective, work on information, liberty, equity, and yearning, an interdisciplinary research initiative examining how marginalized communities engage, design, resist within social technical systems and in these internet streets. And in case you didn't know, I'm Wiley, your favorite information scientist. So when we talk about space, a safe space is a space where you can show up without the fear of harm, emotional safety, trust, and care. A brave space is a space where difficult conversations can happen, where discomfort is possible, but not harm. And I keep coming back to this. A safe space isn't the absence of discomfort, and a brave space isn't the absence of care. The tension is often that people want vulnerability without creating safety, or they want honesty without recognizing the impact. In my own life, I've had moments where I didn't feel like there was a space to be soft. And in other moments, I've had to learn how to hold space for others. And not just hold a space, but how do we hold a space when we have different lived experiences? And how do we address harm, not just what individuals have done, but what is already in the room? And how do we apply care in that space? And something that I've been tussling with since I saw that video, or just thinking about, is that maybe the question isn't safe or brave. It isn't either or. Maybe it's both and. How do we create spaces that are both? And how do we do that in a way that isn't binary? Because to me, it is equally important to understand vulnerability and interpretation. Bell Hooks reminds us that love is not just a feeling, but a practice rooted in care, trust, responsibility, and respect. And when I think about safe and brave spaces, I think about how those same elements show up in our relationships. I think about the mentor that told me everything is relational, and how relationships show up in our interactions, in our conversations with people, whether we're talking about online comments, online communities, online groups, every day, as well as personal and professional. And if we're talking about in real life, I've had moments where I wanted to be open and there wasn't space for it. I've also had to learn how to sit with other people's emotions, even when it wasn't comfortable. These are practices, and those kinds of spaces don't exist without that kind of practice. So maybe the question isn't safe space or brave space. Maybe it's how do we create spaces that hold both. What we need to do in order to do that. Spaces where people can be honest and still feel held. Spaces where people can be honest and still feel seen and cared for. Spaces where we can have hard conversations without losing care for each other. And maybe part of that is also recognizing that everyone's experience of safety, vulnerability, and discomfort isn't the same. And as much as we try to define what a space is and what a space is not, it's equally important to know how we're showing up in it and how we are practicing care, honesty, safety, and accountability, not just individually, but collectively. Just thoughts. Be safe out here. Have a great one.